Good morning, guys. Today I want to speak to you about the word patience. Patience is often misconstrued. It's often something that we wish we had more of. Sometimes it's an area we feel tested the most in, and that's to be expected because it's not natural to have. But what I want to talk about is the way James explains what causes us to feel impatient. And it's usually a set of circumstances that are not going our way, right? And he says in chapter 1, verse 2 and 3, he says, "Consider it nothing but joy whenever you fall into various trials. Be assured that the testing of your faith produces endurance, which leads to spiritual maturity and that inner peace." And I don't find it abnormal to notice that generally more matured people have more patience, and that impatience is usually found in those who have unbelief or are pretty spiritually immature. And let me just break this down into why I think that is so. I think that the more that we're tested in something, the better we're going to become in that. Our outlook is going to determine our outcome. And when we learn to see things differently, then we can learn to respond to them differently. You know, another thing I think I posted a while back was our attitude determines our actions. But what does patience even mean? Sometimes we get frustrated with patience because we think it means we just have to accept what's going on in us and just be kind of passive about, oh, well, we'll get to the end eventually. And that's not at all what patience is. Patience is not a passive acceptance of circumstances, but rather a courageous perseverance in the face of the suffering or in the face of the trial. So how do we get to that place? How do we get to feeling as if we can persevere, or we want to have joy in knowing that we're going to persevere through our trials? And that goes back to refining of the faith. You know, Romans 5 verses 3 through 4, Paul's telling us that God wants to instill in us patience, endurance, and the ability to keep moving even when things get tough. So I challenge you today, if you're feeling frustrated or you're feeling impatient, look at why. Look at how you're looking at things. Check your outlook. Your outlook is determining the outcome, guaranteed. So count it all joy, because we know that through this testing, we are becoming more and more refined, more like Christ every single day to make it to that ultimate refined product that's perfect. Love you guys.